Welcome back. Our good friend Toinette Madison is in the studio with us here, and she represents the Boone County Heritage Museum. Wow.
Yes.
How's it going there?
Yeah,
Are you open?
We are. We're open 10 to 4 every day except Wednesday and Sunday. We're there a little later on Thursday. We're there usually until 5. You can come in and look around, and then after 5
What happens on Thursday?
on Thursday we have trivia at 6:30.
That's right.
We're back at that. So
You do it inside the building, or
we do it in buckets in the back room.
All right.
And we have a lot of folks that are interested. I mean, it's kind of thin right now, but folks like to play. It really is happening organically, sort of. And anyway, we start that at 6:30, and we just completed a 6-week span of that, and so tonight is the first 6 weeks of the next one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun, and folks are ready to get out.
Yeah. So do you have people like schedule time to come in the museum, like schools and?
I haven't heard from any yet.
Okay.
I have already booked Boone County leadership for the youth and the adult classes in the fall, but
it's available.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
We're doing an update to our railroad room right now that I think everybody's going to want to enjoy.
Yeah, you've got a lot of artifacts for that.
We do.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. I don't know if you remember our railroad room, but there were just tons, thanks to the good people here. I mean, we had the railroad shops here in 1912. 80% of the people here worked for the railroad. And so thanks to all those folks, we had tons of wonderful artifacts that just don't exist with a lot of railroads. And I always felt like the railroad enthusiasts were at a little disadvantage because there was not 1 inch of track left by the time I was born. So they could walk in and look at all that stuff and knew exactly what it was.
Okay.
But I don't know, I just realized the other day I've been there almost 10 years.
Wow.
So it's taken me that long to learn about our railroad and how important it was and how it affected people and impacted the area. And so now we're kind of redoing that in a way that hopefully anybody can come in and walk through and learn what it's taken me almost 10 years to learn pretty quickly. So waiting on a lot of graphics and everything. You know how, I don't know, everything we do, it seems like it all culminates at one time. So I'm thinking that's probably how this is going to go, but we're ready for it. And I'll certainly be back to encourage folks to come take a look at that.
Yeah.
All right, good. You brought something with
Yeah.
you.
I did. I grabbed just a couple of them.
What is that, a spittoon?
It is a spittoon.
That's what I'm thinking.
It says the Missouri and North
And
Arkansas
is
Rail
that porcelain?
Yard. I
What
think
is it?
it's
It's paint. It's
it is
metal.
that enamel.
Yeah.
You know, like your grandma's wash pan and
Right,
bucket
yeah.
and those things. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That.
So if people don't know what a spittoon is, that you would find these in like saloons and hotel lobbies and different places for people that
Depots.
wanted to chew tobacco. You know, they would need a place to spit. Now, what I would want to know is who maintained that. Who was
had
the
to clean
who was the
I don't know. I'm glad it wasn't me. I suspect that this came from Beaver, Arkansas, and the Younger collection, who started our collection. Thanks to them, we have the artifacts that we do. Yeah, I'd like to know whose job it was to go around and clean the spittoons.
Yeah.
That'd be
really.
a nasty job.
Yeah.
Not as bad as a chamber potty.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's funny.
I don't know which one I'd rather do,
really.
Yeah.
actually.
But it's clean now.
It is. Yes, it has been for many, many years.
Yeah.
And this, I've probably brung this before. I just love this thing so much. It's the first Oak Leaves. You know, we still put out the Oak Leaves with the Historian, which is a magazine about the M&A Railroad that went through here. But this was put out in 1912, the year that Harrison got the shops, and it's the Home Seekers edition. So every little town that the railroad went through, they're selling it, essentially.
Interesting.
So Alpena, Eureka, Green Forest, Barreville, any place that the railroad went through, you can learn about it if you have any
Now,
connections.
this was a Home Seekers edition, so it is made for people that were looking for land here.
Yes,
Wow,
yes, exactly.
that's really cool.
I think about sometimes pulling things like this and and reprinting them more often, because there were things in the paper about Boone County and Harrison where they talk about it with feminine pronouns and how wonderful they are, you know, and so I think we could do with reading those again
Oh my
sometimes.
gosh.
Yeah.
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 Interesting,
Really had a
very
lot going for us.
And it's great for the young people to read that kind of stuff, because it kind of you hit a
History
kind of
coming
a
to life
hit.
here.
Yeah. You know, I've got the Newton County history book. I can't remember what it's called, but I forget what it's called. But I love to read it because the language is different
Yes.
from
yes.
back in those days.
The-
They
the
use different things.
Small red one, is that the one?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, that's the History
Yeah.
of Newton County by Walter
Yeah.
Mackey. we talked
Yes. Built, written in the 50s, I
about. In
think.
1950, distant
Yeah.
relative of mine. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
It's
I
always
love that,
we
yeah.
need to maintain history, regardless of what it says,
Right.
so we can have a perspective of what was and where we are, whether we accept it or not. I mean, it's
Well,
just,
how we got to where,
my
how
gosh.
we got to where we are now.
yes,
I mean,
we
it's
need
all important.
history. We
Yeah.
need to, no matter, we want to see all the warts and how bad it was, so we can have a perspective of who we are and where we're going.
Right.
I think so.
Anyway,
I
yeah.
think we I often say we don't want to take today's yardstick and go backwards and start measuring people by it, because
You can't.
we didn't live in that time.
Right.
and
We
We
didn't
don't
live
know.
there,
Yeah. I did a little tribute to my great grandmothers and my great great greats, and the other day, and said, you know, I wouldn't agree with them about everything. I don't agree with people today about everything, but I appreciate their wind at my back. And
Yeah.
if they
bet.
hadn't been there, I wouldn't be here. So.
Right. Exactly.
That's what we have to learn. Hopefully, we're continually evolving
Yeah.
and growing, but you have to acknowledge
yeah.
where you came
You
from.
bet.
Did we have some pictures? that
I
you're gonna-
did send
Yeah.
some pictures. I don't know if he's had time to access
He may have
them.
already put them. I just remembered that
He
he
may
was going to.
not have.
There we
Looky
are.
there. Oh, that's a great one that he got up. This year in February, we were in a deep freeze on the 100th anniversary of Starr's death, when Henry Starr
Oh,
robbed,
that's right,
robbed that
yeah.
bank right there. And
He was shot in the alley behind there. Or
he was
something?
shot inside the bank
Oh,
there, what is
inside the
now
bank, okay.
the Kaufman
Kaufman
Center
Center.
on the bottom. But if you'll notice there, there's a couple things that I really enjoy about this picture, because you can see the house on the hill, which was Dr. Euless Jackson's house, is still there. And if you notice in the top picture is the Willow Street Bridge,
Yes.
which has a connection to another anniversary this year. 60 years ago was the Great Harrison Flood in May.
1962, wasn't it?
61.
61.
61. Okay.
And that bridge is the one that down at the bus garage on the corner, all the buses, and there were some houses and things at that time that washed down, dammed that bridge, and that's why everything just funneled into the downtown square the way it did, and was so devastating.
So they didn't rebuild the bridge,
They didn't.
thinking that might happen again. I
Right,
really
they
wonder.
moved it up a street.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
New bridge.
So 2 big anniversaries, Henry
Cool.
Starr and the flood this year. We did our last historian on Henry Starr, and I did a program for the Shiloh Museum via Zoom call this year. And our next historian will be about the flood. So we have some
Oh, wow.
fresh interviews and things that I think you'll enjoy for that.
We want people
Yeah.
to support the history of this area, and a great place to do that is
Absolutely.
at your place.
Yes. One way you can do that is by volunteering, and folks
Okay.
are getting ready. They're ready to get out and volunteer. Thank goodness. You know,
Yeah.
I got to say, we wouldn't have a Boone County Museum if it wasn't for the last generation, the greatest generation, if you will. And they were getting pretty tired by the time I got there, you know, and getting their children, those boomers, in there to volunteer for a few hours a week has been a struggle. But I think it's starting to happen, and it shows. A lot of the new things that we've done there couldn't have done without volunteers.
Yeah.
So we appreciate those, and if you have a few hours, call me.
Yeah, well, as a young person, I hated history, but as I got older, I'm passionate about it. So hopefully the generations will continue
Continue that.
I hope
the
so.
work of the ones that really put the effort in and to make the Heritage Museum work.
I hope so.
You're there, and if you're interested, call them down there. We had the phone number up on the screen. I don't know what's your phone number down there?
You can reach us at 870-741-3312.
3312. All right. Thanks, Toinette.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.
Thank you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
we'll have you back.
Oh, awesome.
All right. Up next, we have,
James Bryant.
he's got a book out. We're going to talk about his book. It's called
Barnabas-
Barnabas's Briefs.
Yeah.
Stay with us.